jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
A big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side Official. No negotiations needed, period. You already know WCS is back in the building with another one, hot grease for you. One of the topics, the primary topics that has hit all-time stress level on the YTC is indeed something that really doesn't have to do with making boxing better. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the best fighting the best. This is not about this. This is about dramatics. Once again, this is about reality TV. This is about the new age and what we have to deal with when it comes down to boxing. It's called conflict of interest. Real talk. This is another way for people to be invested in something that's dealing with conflict, turmoil, turbulence, stormy weather, drama, friction, static, beef. All those words, man. But it has nothing to do with any fight being made. WCS, you know, I've talked about how I was moving under the radar and just doing what I was doing back in the day. And a lot of people don't know how much time and effort that took, but I met a pretty good amount of people along the way. And what I did for boxing during that time, just because I'm taking some time off now, it doesn't erase history. And one of the people that I met several times is Derek Santos, a coach who I know is a good guy, right? But his reputation was defamed. His reputation was shredded. He had to take a small situation that is considered a normality in boxing when it comes to sparring, right? He had to defend himself life and limb because you had one fighter that didn't like the outcome of a sparring session. One fighter that always talks about beating males, beating up men. And that's her MO. She'll knock out this person. She'll knock out that person. You know what I'm saying? But when I was trying to explain to some people what was told to me, and then also I did a live stream on it, right? And I interviewed Derek Santos. I was being called a liar. I was being called a sambo. I was being called a black man that was hating on a sister. And I was saying, yeah, those are the type of dudes that sit up here and they are victims of domestic violence. Usually back in the day, it was the males who were the aggressors. Today, you have a lot more females that's the aggressor because, believe it or not, when it comes down to making that call, I've been there. They always want to come for the male, especially if you're over 6 feet. Oh, what did you do to her? Well, I didn't do anything. I called. But you're here. What did you do to cause? You know, they want to run you the 9 line of questioning. You had to do something. You had to do something to piss her off. What did you do? Infidelity? You stole from her? Huh? What do you do? No, she was the aggressor. Point blank, period. As that's hard to believe. That's hard to believe. You know, I was in a situation like that. But getting back to the topic, right? You know, there's people in my inbox saying up and down that I was just hating on Carissa and saying these things because I didn't get an interview. And look, even when I didn't get an interview with Carissa, I was still nice to her. But I couldn't be nice to someone who speaks about going at a male figure all the time, like she's dissatisfied with the female that's in her, what she's been able to accomplish. Be satisfied, embrace that shit, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? You did a lot. For real, Carissa's did a lot. Coming from where she's from, she's did a lot, bro. But we would never be tracking on the if you think I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm becoming an enabler of this. I'm never gonna sit up here and support women that chooses to say that a man is beneath them, whoever that man may be, and she believes that some of the best male fighters of this era she can go in there and knock out. You know what I'm saying? With 2 to 3 knockouts on her record, but yet she's telling the civilian, you want to be number 4. That's what she told Camron. And I was like, you're supposed to be a woman, though. If Camron is not going to get any more viewership for his liking in a healthy way, if he knocks you out on the street, seriously, it's going to work just the opposite. It's according to how it all plays out. But I want to get down to the wickets, bro. I want to get down to the trenches and muddy water. You know what I'm saying? I want to get down to the prone position, low crawl, up to the perimeter. We have to infiltrate. Because I hear a lot of you black men, and look, my battle is not with the black men who choose to support, you know what I'm saying, who choose to overlook, who choose to downplay or devalue the seriousness of this person's mentality on how aggressive they are. Black people, we shouldn't be in a freaking basket like that, bro. Because even though our skin tone is the way it is, that doesn't mean all of us think alike. And just because we don't think alike, it doesn't mean that criticism has to be the only option. It can't be anything amicable to this shit. Like, just because she's black men supposed to support her. And a lot of these black men that's willing to get online and support the rhetoric, the chaos, the mayhem, would never have a girlfriend like that. Never. They would never date a woman like that. Not the ones I know. Not the ones I know. Look, I never had a group of friends that I consider, guys that I knew, friends. Not one of them in the group was a beta nigga. Not one, bro. I just never hung. It was some dudes in there that had problems, just like I had with a female. It wasn't because they was beta. It's because they kept on doing some shit that pissed her off. It wasn't the fact that, the problems that they were having. Man, my girl keep on slapping the shit out of me, man. She asked me to make her breakfast and the grits ain't right. You know what I'm saying? The grits ain't right. And she want 3 eggs over easy. And she wanted sitting up there just like the photos at Waffle House. Sometimes I get it wrong, man. She slapped me in the back of the head. No, I never known them cats like that. But let's get down to it. I want to take you all to first an interview I did about this same topic that's going on where people were saying I was a sambo and shit, right? And come to find out they just had that bitch assness in them. They didn't want to freaking listen. They don't care. Just because I don't do interviews all the time don't mean I don't know people. You know what I'm saying? Let's get down to it. This is my footage on when I interviewed Derek Santos, one of the first to interview Derek Santos when this news broke about Carissa Shields and this sparring partner knocking her out on her back, sitting her down on her back, and everything else that transpired. And then for you that's on X that don't want to do your homework, I hope you tuning in. This is strictly for you, those in my inbox. Okay, let's get down to the nitty So when that round came up and he landed the left hook, from what it seems like from our point of view on the outside looking in, you say the round was spirited. What happened when he landed the shot and she fell back? What was that conversation? What was that mood like in the gym at that moment?
Well, first of all, there's a bunch of witnesses. Second of all, you can see, and those witnesses are more than willing to attest to what happened that day. But you can see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you all. That was a setting when I was filming. I did not know that the frame info, you know what I'm saying, the details was up there, but you could still hear the interview or whatever. You know, it was just one of those deals. We're hooking up my shit and forgot to press info off. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it go. Let's keep it going.
My demeanor, everybody else's demeanor. I'm the one that goes, "Oh no."
Okay.
You know, that's my voice. Prior to that, also, again, my legal people have this video now, but prior to that, I can just explain to you that they're working. There's a moment where, you know, she's in the corner and he's throwing some shots and he's kind of throwing shots at her head, and you can hear me say, "Hey man, you know, work the body, hit her body, you know, work the body," you know. And he was throwing some long distance shots, and then he just backs out. And that's the point where she walks out and she goes, "Is that all you got?"
Yeah. Coach Santos said that about Carissa when his sparring partner, a male, and these coaches know what they're getting into. They've seen it even with males. Come on, they seen two lions get in there. They seen two wild dogs, two pit bulls, two chihuahuas. They know the difference. They get the word, man. Dudes just don't walk up in their gym and sparring. He just don't deal with boxing. He deal with mixed martial artists too. He did with all forms of combat training, right? But you know, his guy was giving Carissa Shields some work. And she's like, "That's all you got." That's coming out of his mouth, and that is facts. I'm gonna get to the other point where y'all say I was lying, bro. I want a motherfucking apology, yo. Because y'all just want to sit up here and be all gullible like it's Valentine's Day. Like it's cater to the black woman day when she dead ass wrong.
Which is whatever. She's allowed to hype herself up and say whatever she wants to say. You know, fighters sometimes do these things for their own psyche when they're sparring somebody. But I mean, like, if somebody was really trying to hurt you or trying to, you know, prove what I would call a stupid point in a male and female sparring, they would stay all over you, wouldn't they? They'd stay punching you. They wouldn't just back off you.
Correct.
You know, prior to that,
he was there to give her work. He wasn't there to beat her up. You know, he was just there to give her work.
Yeah, but what happened was that second sparring, there was a lot of smack talk prior to that too. There was a lot of smack talk. You know, she was working and talking a lot of smack, but that's not. I kept telling Arthur's like not to worry about that. That's just, I don't like that. If my fighters are doing that, I tell my fighters don't do that. That's just, you know, for me.
He's saying if his fighter's trash talking another fighter, no, you dare to get work. Don't do that. Don't incite anything. Because boxers can snap on your ass, man. I've been in interviews where fighters black out. The only example I can use that I've seen on TV is Joe Joyce, when Joe Joyce zoned out. But I had some fighters that get the glossy eye and they get zoned out, a million mile stare at you. And some shit going on. I've had it happen.
There's no point in that, right? Just do your good work. So when my fighters start to talk, you know, I usually say something like, hey man, come on. We're not, you know, stop doing that. When they come back to the corner, I'll be like, focus on your work, not on your mouth. You know what I mean? Whatever that case may be or whatever, there's no point in that, right? Anyways, again, to each his own. She could psych herself up and say whatever. So before that point happened, they get wrapped up a little bit. You can hear me say, "Hey, don't." I'm telling him not to grab her head, but apparently then they twist, and then it kind of looks like she's got him in a headlock, a little bit sort of coming to our corner, and and then we're all like, hey guys, hey, easy, and then he falls, and then the video goes black because I'm standing in the corner and I'm like fixing his gear, his groin guard and whatnot, and I just said, you could hear him though talking. He's like, "Hey, coach, what's going on here? What's like he didn't sign up for that either." You can see, like I said, we have some parts of the first sparring too where the demeanor wasn't like that. There wasn't.
What it seems like, coach, is that you have a certain level of courtesy that you stick by with your fighters, whether it's in your gym or whether you visiting somebody else's gym. And
100%. You always need. Listen, first of all, you shouldn't be disrespecting anybody's place.
Correct.
Second of all, it doesn't make any sense for. This is my opinion because I've seen a lot of coaches burn themselves up, right? Where they're not liked, they're not, and I don't know to be liked, but just out of respect. Sometimes you need work, you need sparring. Sometimes you need to go to places. So you're gonna act a fool, and then be told like, no, we don't have any work for you. We don't. We're not going to help you. We're not going to. I've worked my whole career, not only spreading goodwill, but just, being a gentleman character and understand. I've had fighters of mine complain like, hey, they're doing this when we've gone to other gyms. And I'll be like, hey, don't get caught up in that. And one, and two, it's respect. It's their gym,
Did you, when she had him in the headlock, coach, Arthur, when she walked him, I guess, to the corner in the headlock, did anyone want to check, to see if the gloves was anything? Because it seems like they was having fun. It seems like so much fun to the point where she wanted to get him in the headlock and walk him to the ropes and so forth.
They got wrapped up, and I think he was trying to go like under and around her, and she was trying to turn. I don't think that was even. Fighters do that sometimes when they're trying to spin each other around and trying to get. I wouldn't even say that was of any kind of, at the time, any kind of malicious intent.
I'm not saying malicious, coach. I'm just saying at that time it seems like they were still sparring, and it was pretty much focused on sparring because sparring can get rough.
Sure, for sure. The sparring was fine, but that was my point. That then we get to where I'm fixing his gear, and he's like, hey, what's going on? Because he's feeling uncomfortable now because obviously, her psyching talk, whatever, the trash talk, he's thinking, hey, we came here to help her, and she's talking trash, and it's getting, to him, it was getting uncomfortable, right? In the sense of all like, hey, I'm just here helping, and now, it's getting a little rough in here and a little, I didn't come to do that. You know what I mean? And I'm sure.
Coach say anything? Did her team say anything? That
no, not at that moment. But they weren't endorsing that either. Let me make that clear. They weren't endorsing that either, because when they got wrapped up, everybody was like, hey, So it wasn't like they were endorsing that.
Yeah.
So they go back. So when he says to me, hey, what's going on, this and that, I'm like, hey, man, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm like, just work, man. And you could hear it clearly. Just work, man. And they go out. She threw, a hard punch with intention. He rolled and he threw a left hook, which was his best punch. And he hit her right on the end of, at the edge of the chin that we all know is a pressure point. Anybody can get knocked down. See, it's funny because, well, it's not funny really, but after she decided to make all these videos and all these things, then she made a secondary video where she's like, well, I don't need to be embarrassed because fighters get knocked down. That's right. You don't. But
hold up, coach. Hold up before you get, we're going to get back to that. All due respect. But what I want to try to find out is that when he landed the left hook, right, and she went down. Okay, I understand the videos is out there, but when she went down, what happened? Did she get up immediately? Did he help her up? What was the conversation from her coach?
There was a few seconds where she was there, obviously gathering herself. That's understood. He takes a couple of steps away from her, like going to the corner. I pointed at him to go help her.
Okay.
Like, to give her a hand and come up, right? He goes over and walks to her to try to help her up. She pushes him away and says, "Get away from me."
So basically, him being a good sportsman, right? Truth versus lies, right? The Santos fighter, the fighter who
She said,
the fighter who freaking caught Carissa while they was in the middle. Both of them was in the middle of exchanges. His shot landed. The male, his shot landed, and Carissa went down. He went over there showing sportsmanship to try to help her up, and she said, "Get away from me." He went over there, not jumping up and down, standing over her, gloating. He went over there to help her up. He went over there to help her up. And she said, "Get away from me." Okay?
yeah, for really what she said. But anyways, he backs off. She gets up. She's walking. Maybe this whole thing was maybe no more than 10 seconds, right? Between the time that she drops and this happens, right?
Yeah.
She gets up. John, you hear John say, "Walk it off." I'm saying, "Yeah, walk it off." And she didn't take too long. She maybe took another, I don't know, maybe another 10 seconds went by, and she was like, "Okay," started ready. They touched gloves, and they start to spar again. And then it was probably like maybe another 15, 20 seconds maximum that they sparred in that round. The bell rings, and they touch gloves again.
So what he just said, y'all, come on now. What he just said was that she took a little bit of time, got up, gathered her senses and everything. They touched glove and went back to sparring. Then he's going to go into them doing another round or two. So they was able to sparring after the knockdown. I was getting the impression, Coach, that after she was knocked down, a whole melee ensued as far as the question, if he had no padding in the gloves and everything else. So you saying they sparred again after she got up from the knockdown?
And it continued after that.
I'm a bit puzzled.
Yeah, it continued after that.
Because I think the masses, so to speak, I would say the, whatever the consensus is, they're looking at these videos as if, yeah, she was knocked down, and then once she got up, she said, "Okay." One video, she said she ain't never been dropped before, whatever the case. I'm not here to throw Carissa Shields on the bus at all. All I'm trying to figure out is that if she was dropped and the guy who did it is being accused of having gloves with no padding in it, then you're telling me that the sparring session didn't even stop after that. They touched gloves again and continued to spar.
And she's admitted to that too.
So she admitted after she was knocked down to continue to spar, to continue. Not in no shape or form that there was let me immediately check your gloves. Let me immediately check your gloves. Immediately. Let's get it done right here, right now. I got choices to make. For real. The choice to say, "No, I don't want to spar him no more because I believe his gloves, and I'm stopping this right here. John David, can you go over here and check these gloves?" No, they continue to spar. They continued to spar. Once again, I repeat, they continued to spar. They continued to spar. But the impression I think that a lot of people getting from videos is that it was no more sparring after that, Coach. It was
Well,
all out chaos
no.
with the gloves somehow being hidden. And who inspected? Okay, so hold up. Let me process this. So basically she got up, they continued to spar. How many more rounds did they spar after that knockdown?
I didn't remember. She says she initially said she did another 4 rounds, which I think like I just on when she was going back and forth with me on the internet. I was telling her respectfully, I didn't post this, but in any case, you know, I was telling her, you did this yourself. You kept talking about it, and the kid felt a certain kind of way or whatever, right? So she claims it was another couple rounds, and I was kind of like, yeah, I remember you continue to spar. Now the witnesses said that it was just another round, so I guess an extra round.
Hey, setting the table, regardless of how many rounds it was, it didn't stop right at that moment. That guy that hit her, that boxer, wasn't inspected. He wasn't told or demanded to remove his equipment, which is the gloves. The gloves are there to protect the fighter's hands, not the fighter that's receiving the hands. She didn't request to remove that, those gloves and be inspected or impounded. She didn't. Wherever, how many rounds? 1, 2, 3, it still continued past the knockdown. That is the whole encompassing factor here. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the jabs that Camron took. This is one of the areas where a lot of fellas didn't quite know that I even interviewed, you know what I'm saying? Or they didn't give a damn to. But now all of a sudden, it is one topic of discussion. And yes, I know this guy. He's a good guy, Coach Santos. Good dude. He would never go in there and have to prove with his fighter just because it's Clarissa Shields and she's a trash talker. It's every fighter. There's a lot of fighters that's trash talking doing sparring. I don't think no way, shape, or form that he ever would have encouraged or, you know what I'm saying, told his fighter, hey, pump it up, 5 notches. This is a two gold standard Olympian right here. This is Clarissa Shields. She's talking about how she's beating dudes and she this, that, and the other. Teach her a lesson. No, I don't see him as doing that. And you can tell from his demeanor. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly how he is in person. Cool dude. You know what I'm saying? So when I was sitting up here vouching, for Derek Santos' character, I hit him up on the phone and we was talking about this before I did an interview. And I definitely wanted to get, be able to allow him to get his side of the story out to the general public because he deserved that with all the freaking defamation that was going on. And look, if you look out there now, outside of my video, man, it's people that's just now catching on to this. Well, he had to go out here and vindicate himself because she was trashing this man. I think it's one of the worst forms. She busy talking about, Carissa's up here busy talking about, oh, I did this, I did that. I'm the quote. What about you as a person, though? She was on demon time with this shit. Demon time, y'all. What did Arthur say?
Well, I didn't ask him about the amount of rounds after.
Okay.
What I asked him was, I did ask him initially because let me preface this right here. I had to say this. When this came out and she was going back and forth and she starts with the threats and she starts telling me that she's going to get me banned from boxing and all this and that, right? And I'm trying to
ban from boxing, y'all. She's never been dropped before in sparring. Or never been dropped before, however the word was at that time. Because we know Hannah Gabriel dropped her. But this might have been before Hannah Gabriel. Okay? Because this didn't happen when this interview, the knockdown just didn't happen weeks prior. No, this was a video that was already out there that the guy who actually did it, he didn't put it out, this, that, and the other. And then he got frustrated and exhausted. And he had no more tolerance to the trash talking that she was doing. So he put the video out there. That's how that went.
I talked some sense to her. I then tried to reach out to her manager, Mike Taffer, and I was like, hey, listen, I had nothing to do with the clip of this being posted, but she's saying all these things. I think, you know, at that time she had not gone out and spread, you know, tried to, you know, take a flamethrower to my career. That was the day before. And I was like, you know, if you could talk to her, you know, I don't want any issues and whatnot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And look what she's saying here. This isn't cool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In any case, the next day, so then I was able to get in contact with Arthur, who lives in Europe, you know? And I said, hey, man, you know, I was like, look at this. Why you cause this? His response was, and so I don't know if where he heard it from as many times. At that point, I hadn't even seen the interview that she gave at Canelo and Charlo. Okay. So we're going to get to that in a second. I had not seen that. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm tired of you know, her talking trash and the truth is on our side. Champions should be honest, right?
Yep.
And that's what he said. I said, okay. You know, I didn't say okay, but I was like, okay. Then here comes the next day, and she's out there doing what she said she was going to try to do. And then I start getting...
And what you mean by that? What she was going to try to do? Ruin your career?
Yes.
Okay.
Which she said so, and I had documentation of it. And so then, you know, you start getting inquiries and questions. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Really, it's crazy in this day and age, man, that sometimes media runs with things and they post things without even asking.
Without even asking. We know how that works, right? We have all this competition around here. We have guys that's not even really into boxing like that. They really wasn't even touching this when I interviewed them. They wasn't even touching it. They didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden, we have a different platform that's involved. And it's a lot of strings that's connected to certain angles. We have the Manny Serrano and Taylor fight. They have the it is what it is, Camron's comments. You know what I'm saying? And then we have a surplus of history of Carissa and this freaking knockdown that she suffered and what she tried to do to this guy right here that a lot of people don't know about. So I just sit back and listen to some of these guys who have the right. They have the right to support who they want to support, but they truly haven't had any experiences that they can really drive home that nail and say, you know what? I can see why people mad. People up here trying to do what they do out in civilian all the time when it comes to a male and female that's in an altercation. They always try to find a way what the male did first. Oh, prove to me you're innocent. It's not innocent to prove it guilty, but prove to me that you're innocent. Because I see you guilty now. It ain't me. No, you got the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about when somebody's trying to ruin your career. They're going all out to ruin your career when you was dropped in sparring and you was doing the trash talking. And the guy who dropped you put out a freaking video, and you try to go to the coach. You try to go after the coach's career and thrash him, even after your coach had inspected the glove and say nothing was wrong with the gloves. And when WCS had put it out there to several platforms that she tried to go to the car and get a knife, I got the receipts. I always had the receipts. I just let the shit go because you can't convince these new age, you know, dudes that's soft as hell when it comes to other females. They want to kiss these females. See, some females deserve, you know, the respect they get because they're humble. And other females, they don't deserve respect. You know what I'm saying? They just don't deserve it. Respect ain't something you just wrap up with a nice little bow and just give to people. You don't supposed to respect everything someone's do, especially when they dead ass wrong. That's my core value. You know, that's how I honor that shit.
Without even countering, because a lot of the videos she did, like on Fight Hub TV, they never even asked me. They never even reached out to me for comment. Right? Women's Boxing Network wrote that I should be ashamed of myself.
See what I'm talking about? They said he should be ashamed of himself, trying to spread all this rhetoric, just spreading rhetoric all over the place, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable how people just run with shit without doing research. And people believe it's all about, oh, she said, I hate niggas that black women. And no, don't try to make it about black women. No, don't be trying to call a nigga weak because they standing up for themselves. It has nothing to do with race. I look, as a black man, I get tired of my people being dead ass wrong in situations and try to make it about something other than really what it is, especially when it comes to male or female. We're this, we're that. You shouldn't do this. You should. Oh, that's a woman. Y'all motherfuckers get beat up and down the street. Then the woman beat your head in, and you didn't do anything to deserve that. But you don't want to stand up for yourself because it might look bad.
And I thought to myself, like, wow, like everybody was taking this for it. Now we're gonna get to this interview that she did because somebody sent it to me.
Hey, that's a wake up call, ain't it, Coach? How loosely media put narratives, biased narratives out here to ruin people's lives.
No, it's not the same. You know, back in the days, you used to have to, like check your sources, and at least extend the courtesy of asking, right? She kept on and on. Anyways, so I finally I'm like, let me see this interview that she gave.
Let me let me play something before you get to the interview.
Yeah,
because I have a little clip of what I think you're talking about per se. But let me play this right quick.
No, but the guy I sparred, he was like a little Russian hater. He took the patent out of his gloves. I had whooped his ass on a Monday, and his coach wanted to spar again on Thursday. But he caught me, but he didn't have no patent in his gloves. He know exactly who he is. Damn.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but so even before that part, she's telling part of the story that you didn't play there was where she's telling how it happened. Okay. Right. First of all, we did not ask to spar. We went over there to help her. Okay. Upon request.
They went to help. Helping can be moving around, not sparring, not all out sparring. Help can be moving around. You hear me mention that a lot. Those of you that attend gyms, you know what moving around is. They know. It's just a language. I'm going in there to help. You're not really trying to go in there and get some good rounds in, some solid rounds in there. You're not banging out, man. You know what I'm saying? You just, giving different angles, giving different movement. You know what I'm saying? Fainting, showing, this frame right here, showing that. Just give them different looks. Just helping them out. You know what I'm saying? Giving them different looks.
Secondly, she wrote, and I had to be clear of this because I think I misspoke in another interview and said she said, but she actually wrote that I had hidden the gloves in a bag and that I tried to be slick about it and whatnot. Then she said in an interview that she grabbed him by the gloves. And
hey, before you get, where this is going, right? I'm talking about being on demon time. This is straight up malicious, man. Nefarious in every way possible. Malicious as hell. You remember that I mentioned, you've heard it all over when we talking about Billy Collins Sr. on how the only way he would have found out Luis Resto's glove didn't have patent in if he wouldn't shook his hands, because he really beat his son up. So him being in tuned with the punishment that his son took, when Resto came over there to show the little sportsmanship to the corner, and he grabbed his hand just like Derrick James did freaking Crawford's left glove. Yeah, he grabbed that glove and he said, oh shit, I feel knuckles and everything. Imagine what Derek Santos is doing. Imagine that, y'all. Imagine that.
Walked him over to John David Jackson, and then they caught him cheating.
What? Grabbed him by the glove, walked him over to her coach, John David, which is a good guy. John Davis is a good dude, real talk. But this is where it gets a bit dishonest, a lot dishonest, a whole entire bubble of dishonesty, just flat out lying.
You know, and that's how she knew the padding. Well, none of that happened. First of all, then there's a part where she said, "Oh," and then he sparred the other guy. Well, he sparred the other guy first before he sparred her with the same gloves on.
Okay. He sparred another fighter first with the same gloves on. No knockdowns, no complaints, no riot. The same gloves on. The same gloves on. It's nothing new that fighters, spar. I mean, come on, man. I've been to gyms where, fighters of course spar with the same gloves, different fighters. There's nothing wrong with that. This come on, bro. That's nothing abnormal to do that. So he sparred someone first before he went in there with shields. People had the assumption that he put on these gloves right when he stepped in there with shields. No, he had already sparred a guy. So what my question is going to be: why wasn't there a bit of concern when he stepped in there with his first sparring partner, and got that work on? Isn't there a relation? Shouldn't that be a relation? Or no, I take that back, a correlation. If the gloves was fucked up, that guy, he should have felt it. He should have had some busted lips, runny nose, you know what I'm saying? Some swelling, bruising, knots, hematomas, shit like that, right?
Okay.
What weight was he?
He's a welterweight fighter.
All right.
By the name of Harold Calderon, and he also did not complain at any point about it.
Okay.
He just did the work.
Knockdowns in that fight. I mean, that's sparring
No,
session.
they just worked,
Right. They just worked. Great questions. Great questions being asked by this guy.
Right. Only thing I remember Harold saying at the time was that he was a little tired because he did strength and conditioning.
Okay.
It was after. It's Clarissa standing to the left of me. John is sitting on the ring in front of me. Elvis Crespo is sitting to the right of me. I don't know if it's her husband or her boyfriend or whatnot was in the gym, I believe. Cutman Daniel Roland was behind me. And she starts talking about that she can't believe that happened. She's never been knocked down and however many.
He's never been knocked down. I don't know how many fights. Her resume ain't that big, but she's saying she's never been knocked down, y'all. You hearing it from the coach. She said she never been knocked down. So what's new to her? Why she didn't got down and do that shit against Hannah Gabriel when she was knocked down? Because Hannah Gabriel was a female. Hannah Gabriel not only hit her with the uppercut, but knocked her mouthpiece out. This guy didn't even knock her mouthpiece out, bro. This is real talk. He did not knock her mouthpiece out.
Many years and what she said and blah, blah, blah. And then she starts talking about to go get the gloves and that she thinks that we were cheating and whatnot, right? The gloves were sitting on the ring apron on the other side of the ring. I tell John the gloves were right over there. She tells John to go look at the gloves. John grabbed them, looked at them, saw there were 16-ounce gloves, saw there were Mundo Boxing brand gloves, and there was nothing wrong with the gloves. But
her coach inspected the gloves. Her coach, Clarissa Shields, I don't have to say allegedly. This is facts. Clarissa Shields' coach looked at the gloves, and look, it was plenty of people in there. He's not the only one I talked to that was in that gym. So if any one of them individuals want to come on here and send paperwork, I'm talking about, we're going to go ahead. Because it's people that I talked to that was there that day too. I had some off the record conversations too. And John David looked at those gloves and said there was nothing wrong with those 16-ounce gloves. 16-ounce gloves, y'all. 16-ounce gloves. There was nothing wrong with them. That's a coach, right? He should know. Because that's not his first fighter. He should know.
Kept on saying that,
just to be clear, Coach, John David, who's respected boxing
yeah,
trainer in the sport, he was
yeah.
the first to inspect the same gloves that Artur sparred her with, right?
Yes.
And he basically said they was what they were supposed to. They met, the specs and everything. So what happened? What happened? What did he say once he inspected the gloves? Did he give them to
No,
Carissa?
just sat there, and he was like, she kept saying that I was cheating because whatever, maybe she felt that the padding was harder on those gloves or whatnot, but she just kept saying I was cheating, and I kept going back and forth for her saying, "Hey, listen, I respect you.
Yeah.
You know, you're a great female fighter. You're the world champ. I wouldn't do, I don't do those kind of things. You know what I mean? You know what? Take the doctor gloves anyways to take the padding out of the gloves. Never mind that on the video, if you zoom in, you can clearly see the gloves are padded, right? Because there's a big difference when gloves don't have padding. You would have to go inside. Think about how a glove is. Go inside, cut it, take out the padding, redo it or whatever, and they would just fall and float. We had an incident like that, unfortunately, in professional boxing. We go back to the Louis Resto
Billy
fight.
Collins.
What happened? When you see those gloves, there's an indentation in those gloves. There's literally no padding there. You can tell the difference, right? And so I even told, like I said, the other gentleman was there. I said, "Hey, man, I would never, do that to your girl. So I don't know what she's talking about, And again, the gym was full of people. There's witnesses, so it's not like, So that's
outside of John David and Carissa Shields, was there any other energy given to Carissa trying to say that you all tried to imply that you all was cheating, or just stayed within her and her coach that she was conversing back and forth with him? Hey,
this is not private.
Oh,
The
this is
gym
just
was full
open.
of
Okay.
people. All kinds of witnesses to this.
Okay.
So this is and
That's
and,
facts.
and you
It was a whole lot of witness to that. Facts. A gym full of people now that's not co-signing what Shields is talking about. A gym full of other people that was there. This is not a private sessions. Why haven't you heard anyone else co-sign that Santos and Artur was cheating? Why haven't there been anybody? Why is she the only one?
You can see it in the video. There's all kinds of people in the gym. So I think that's another thing that the masses are missing. They're acting like this was some kind of private sparring session that, people could get away with. Maybe he said, she said. This is not a he said, she said. I got a ton of witnesses.
Okay.
This is not a he said, she said thing. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, there's one person that says that John said it had nothing to do with the gloves. She just had her chin up, her face up, which happens sometimes with fighters. You get caught with a good shot. Now, so the story that she says that Roberto Duran gifted me the gloves. I've never met Scotty. I wish. When I was a little kid, I saw Roberto.
I have to correct you. I have to, I was called my government name for those of you that may not know. Scotty happened to be me. Yeah. She's saying basically the gloves that Arthur was freaking sparring in was gifted to him by the great Roberto Duran. Wow. What does that have to do with anything?
During the party my father took me to, I wish as an adult I could meet Roberto Duran because I believe he's an all-time great, and I'm fascinated by his skills, even his knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Look, why would those gloves, if they was gifted by Roberto Duran, have anything to do with it unless he wore them, for sparring and so forth for several years, and they was worn down and everything? You'll be able to see that. The aesthetics of it on the exterior, you'll be able to see those some old ass gloves. And then furthermore, you get closer, you got Roberto Duran's goddamn autograph on them joints. You know what I'm saying? This shit don't make no sense, man. It's just not adding up at all.
So that's another fabrication.
That just came out of nowhere. Roberto Duran Mexican to Mexican, whatever. I don't know, man. Where did that even come from? To be honest, like how can you link up Roberto Duran with you?
I'm not sure, Scotty, but the alleged knifing issue, right?
Okay, we're getting into the knifing issue. You have to understand how many people was trying to. They did, but they was up here talking about legal shit and all that. He's getting into the knifing. Okay, it was cats, my own people, coming at me to my unwilling to believe. Look, they don't even know what ethnicities Derek Santos is. They said you willing to believe what a cracker said and all this and all that. Yeah, man. They was going in on me. They say, trying to bring my military shit into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you used to working for the white man and all that shit. You motherfucking, believe in this cracker and all this other shit, right? I'm like, huh? You actually think that somebody's gonna tell you a story, just any old kind of story, and brings a knife into the situation, as if look, once again, a gym full of people, and it's all lies, it's false. I'm talking about somebody of this magnitude. We're talking about somebody of this magnitude when it comes to Shields, when it comes to Coach Santos, when it comes to everybody else, Coach John David, everybody that was in that gym. Okay.
So the knifing situation, which she proudly keeps talking about, or she talks about it proudly, I'm not, whatever that's about. I wasn't aware that was happening at the time.
He said he wasn't aware, y'all. And that's what they was goddamn. Look, they was criticizing the shit out of me, right? Look, they was criticizing the shit out of me because they say, oh, he didn't even know. You just went off what you heard. You just trying to dog the black woman out and all this other shit they were saying. They were just going in heavy. I say, man, he ain't the only one I talked to. He is not the only one I talked to that was in that gym, bro. Because once I did this interview with him, some other cats that was there reached out to me and we had conversations offline. And that's when the knife incident became a big story, because she was out there trying to get back in the gym. And it's not on top of that. It's another situation that tells me that, look, I would never support her like that. Never, bro. Never, man. I don't care how many of these cats sit up here and think, oh, just because we got the same shade and it's all about her resume. What about the character? What about how much effort, I'm talking about malicious effort, that they're willing to adduce to get you in trouble, to get you banned, to get you basically to have other innocent people that don't even really know you, to get you ostracized, to have people attempt to treat you like you're a pariah.
When I'm there, I was not aware of that at all. I came to find out about that a couple of days later, maybe a week later, when again, Elvis Crespo, who's the boxing manager, told me, hey, you need to watch your back a little bit,
They told him he needs to watch his back. This Carissa Shields we talking about, y'all. This is when I put this information out here. Like I said, I was, I don't like putting that first shit out there, but nobody else was giving a damn about this shit. Really. But I knew the cat. Now, I was vouching for Derek Santos. Didn't have nothing to do with the way I thought about Shields, but I knew it wasn't his character. Now, I'm going to come back to this, right? For those of you that was up there that was criticizing and accusing me of putting out false information, what do you say about this? What you say about this right here? Let's go right here. What do you have to say for yourself?
Slices old ass up to Derek Santos.
By a 6-1.
And yes,
And I say that with all due respect.
Check this out, y'all. This is the very same information I put out there. And some content creators on here, along with some other people, I don't know who the fuck they were was talking about I was spreading lies and information. That's why your channel don't grow and all this other shit they was talking about, right? But check this out. I guess, you know, this is gonna be AI, right? I guess this is AI. No, this is Carissa Shields admitting to the very same information. Now I put this out here very early with this Derek Santos video, this interview. Listen to this shit right here.
And yes, I ran to my car and I grabbed my knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos. Guess who stopped me? Coach John, because I was slice his old ass up, because don't ever cheat against me.
She called.
Did y'all hear that? Huh? Did you hear what she said? Those bitch ass motherfuckers that was talking about I was just spreading freaking information that wasn't true. Did you hear what she just said? That's Carissa, right? But I was called every name in the book for putting out false information because Derek Santos say he didn't know anything about it. This is a black woman trying to go in there. I guess she couldn't knock out Derek Santos because he was a boxing coach. He might have been a little bit too skilled, so to speak. But she went out to her car to get a knife. This is her words. Let me let you hear that shit again. Ran to my car and I grabbed my knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos. Guess who stopped me? Coach John, because I was slice his old ass up, because don't ever cheat.
Do respect.
And yes, I ran to my car and I grabbed my knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos. Guess who stopped me? Coach John. I was slice his old ass up, because don't ever cheat against me. Because I was slice his old ass up, because don't ever cheat against me. Coach John, because I was slice my knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos. Guess who stopped me? Coach John. Knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos. Guess who stopped me? Coach John. And I grabbed my knife and yes, I ran to my car and I grabbed my knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos. Guess who stopped me? Coach John. Is that enough time for y'all? I know y'all not gonna get an apology. I understand, because we live in a world where people, they don't get information. You know, boxing media has changed. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of niggas in here that's just dare to talk to people. They don't give a fuck about really, you know, going and really doing thorough research on shit. You know what I'm saying? But this very same information, they were saying I was spreading lies on their favorite, you know, female fighter, because she say she is, right? She say she is, right? And, you know, all these threats that was coming, shit, and I'm supporting a peck of wood and cracker and all that shit. And, you know, he wasn't even there. He didn't even know. He told you one day and you just went with the narrative. No, I talked to somebody else. And, you know, I talked to some people that was actually out there seeing this shit play out, how they was trying to stop him from going back in there. But that's not even all of it, though. That's not even all of it, yo. Let me get back to the vid, though. I just wanted y'all to say that. I know them bitch ass motherfuckers are not gonna goddamn drop an apology in my inbox. That's straight from her mouth. She was out there trying to grab a weapon and go back in there and cut a nigga. Now, somebody could have died. Now, how's her career? What is the gold medals gonna stand for? Her coach trying to stop her from going in there and cutting somebody. She said she was gonna cut his old ass. Those seem like anger issues that you should be taking out in the ring. I know this quite off topic than what Camron said, but he did speak on the guy knocking her down. But Camron, even if you're listening, Camron, y'all didn't know about this. And and that's not even all of it. Let's get back to where I was before. After the sparring had already, days went by, you're being told you need to watch your back.
Correct. And I was kind of like, what? Now, you know.
Now, granted, like I said, that's not even all of it. Y'all remember when she was supposed to be fighting in Flint, Michigan, and a family member of hers punched the old coach, Bashir, I think his name, in the back of the head, knocked that guy out flat face first and knocked out some of his teeth and all that. That dude was arrested. Her brother punched the dude, sucker punched him in the back of the head, yo. You know what I'm saying? Just to prove a point. There's a history. If this was a dude that was going through this type of shit, oh, everybody be trying to protest, man. Everybody be out in the streets where they got damn, picket signs and shit protesting. They'll be trying to start all these groups and get in these private chats. A lot of these cats really don't know. They never really dealt with her. And I'm not here to sit up here and wash her in something that she's already been bathing in. You know what I'm saying? People just think this is all about a fight. Some people, they want to be number one. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, the fans are the ones that's supposed to be the proprietors of their own freaking compliments. The fans. You shouldn't have to pull it out and convince everybody. Now, if you go to the chalkboard, once again, I'm number one. Okay? I'm number one. Say it. I'm not getting everybody. Everybody together on 3. 1, 2, 3. No. They supposed to genuinely give you the compliment and the praise, but that's not the case with her. You know what I'm saying? She believes that she's gonna be up here getting, the compliments that Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor gets. And it can be people out there that just want to do the shit and be vindictive about it, be spiteful by saying that the numbers at that fight outdid her numbers just to piss her off, because they know everything that I know. They know it's public information. It's public information, man. It's public information. So since it's PI, don't come up here trying to say, well, I want to submit paperwork. I'm going to do this. It's PI, bro. People will spitefully do that to her because of the way they think about her attitude.
I was kind of shocked and stunned at that incident, or, just the thought of that, right? But I thought they had it under control. It was something, John talked to her, whatever. And
So Coach, hold up. What do you mean the incident? Like, how did the knife incident even happen? Is it, from what I'm hearing, allegedly, she supposedly went out to the vehicle or something?
She says she went out to a vehicle to grab her knife to stab me and the fight. And, some people are saying, well, stab and knife, or what's the difference between knife him and stab me and stab him?
Correct.
I'm not understanding what the difference is between that, but she's been saying that. She said that proudly on several occasions.
She said that proudly. But yeah, these cats was in that time I was running with lies. She said that proudly herself. You seen her. I'm talking to you whole ass niggas that was out there co-signing this shit. You seen her, right? Is that good enough for you? It's been out there for a while. I just haven't never spoke on it. I just felt like the type of damn energy. And all of a sudden, this is coming back to the surface. I said, well, let me go snorkeling for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the one that interviewed Derek Santos, and when people wasn't even giving a damn about this shit. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't even giving a damn about this video. They just said, oh man, a video. They didn't know any history behind it. They never really dealt with her in person. If you see most of these content creators, they kissing her black ass, man. They kissing her black ass in person. That's all that is. They kissing her black ass. Just like a person that's on X said, Shakur Stevens, I can't believe that they say what they say about a 2-time gold standard Olympian, and somebody went up underneath that motherfucker and hit a reply. I'm talking about they did the bolo punch on his ass. They said, Shakur, how you up here trying to defend Clarissa, and we don't never see you in any of her fights? You always at Crawford fights. You always at Keyshawn fights. We don't see you at no Carissa Shields fight. And you always up here acting like you. I'm telling you, bro, shit different.
So, and it's in video. It's recorded, documented, right? So what I'm saying is, I left. I was told, hey, just get out of here, before it's any trouble, whatever. And I left. I wasn't even aware of that. I was then called later and told, you need to watch your back because this almost happened. And I guess John, talked her down off the ledge or whatever and said, hey, that's crazy. What are you doing? I know this guy, and he's not that guy, first of all. So
what did I say?
Don't do anything
He ain't that guy
like that,
He ain't that guy.
In any case, so all of that.
Wow.
Now, let's fast forward a couple months later. I'm here. Demetrius, Andre would sometimes have training.
Hey, he's about to transition to another thing I put out there. And this goes to the hoes on X. The ones that was steadily complaining that people like myself will put out any information just for clout. And I say, man, clout just never did it for me, bro. I mean, I'm good where I'm at. I never was about no damn clout, dog. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get it. I put this shit out there, right? About and look, this was recently that I was putting this shit back. I just started to talk about it, about this incident he's talking about, how he's gonna tell you about Demetrius Andrade coming over to his gym. Imagine this, right? Imagine all the black men that's out here talking about the fight and talking about people just hating and hating and hating. There's a hater too that we know. You know what I'm saying? Carissa's a hater too. It's okay, fellas. You can call her a hater. You know what I'm saying? Because if me, a black man, was going out here acting the way she has acted and did the things she's a part of with injuring people, come on, man. What would you consider me to be? You see it play out all the time on here in social media. All these guys want to crash out over shit that go on social media, but they'll kiss Carissa's ass whenever they get a chance to. Derek Santos is about to tell you about a totally different situation about Demetrius Andrade. And I put this out there, and they was like, no, you're a motherfucking sellout. That didn't happen. She wouldn't do that. Look how eerie this shit. This is the weird, strange, eerie shit, though. When you're dealing with someone that has the mindset that she does when it comes to men.
Training sessions here at my gym.
Let me back it up a little bit.
School, Now, let's fast forward a couple months later.
Couple months later, y'all. Couple months later.
I'm here. Demetrius, Andre would sometimes have training sessions here at my gym. We're friends. Everything's cool. His team. And there's a night where they're supposed to come and work. And I'm here waiting for them. And she walks in the door. Yeah, I'd invited her. She walks in the door and she just looks at me. And I look at her and I go, can I help you? And she goes, oh, Demetrius told me I can come. I said, okay. Because those training sessions, are usually private. And I grabbed her a chair. She seems to forget that, like a gentleman, and told her, okay, here, you can sit here and wait. I didn't have any other interaction or any talking with her. She didn't say anything to me other than that, you know what I mean? She spoke to the people, she spoke to their team and everything. So the whole training session went down and she was there and nothing was, out of an ordinary training session, you know what I mean? There wasn't any animosity shared between me or her.
Who was Demetrius sparring? Just one of your
No,
fighters?
he wasn't sparring. Training.
Huh?
I can't remember, but I don't think he was sparring somebody. I think he was training.
Okay, he was just training. She showed up with him because he gave her permission.
There was a training or sparring. Either way, it was a night session here at the gym.
Okay, got it.
So in any case, and then that's like literally maybe the last. I think I've only ever seen her once at an event. Other than that, I saw her once at a gym in Fort Lauderdale, Warriors gym. I had taken two fighters to spar down there in their gym, and John was training her down there. I'm guessing for one of her fights. She saw me, I saw her. I just kind of did a little head nod, and there was no words spoken between each other. She did her training, and I wasn't even there for her training. We finished the sparring and I just left. You know what I mean? out of that, there's never been any other communication. There's never been any trash talking. I've never tried to discredit her, but I will stand up for her attempts to defame my name, because it went across the world, and people were like, even one of the coaches that works with me, he's from the Eastern European bloc. They're like, hey, you work with this guy? Is this true? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Because now you're starting something where people are actually believing that, because taking the padding out of the gloves to intentionally hurt somebody, that's a criminal act.
Yeah.
And that accusation is disgusting, especially when it's false. That's very damaging. And I didn't sign up for any of this. I didn't sign up for having to watch over my shoulder or to have somebody try to take a flamethrower to my career. So that's that.
So with me assessing this coach, right, based off everything I've heard outside of this interview, and for what you told me, someone who was actually there, and also the positive aspect of it, you have witnesses there that actually, train fighters and do the same thing you do.
Several.
Now, I don't quite understand how defamation could be levied against you, because no one was talking about this until this interview to this video drop, right?
No. But the defamation of character is going against her now. I'm going to pursue defamation of character because of what she did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was someone in my chat talking about, defamation of character. I'm like, you got the roles wrong. Like most of what I'm hearing is coming from Shields to you based off what cannot be proven. I haven't heard John David come out here. I haven't heard any of her team come out here and say, yes, that's absolutely true what went on. And then hearing you break down the timeline doesn't even add up to what we've been hearing out here on the videos.
Well, because here's what's happening. I've worked a long time, and I'm just a humble coach, man. I've worked a long time. Like I said, I've been fortunate. I was faithful, loyal assistant to John David Jackson. I would never advocate anybody doing that, not to a male or a female fighter. I'm not going to do that to somebody I work for. On top of it. But beyond that, here's the situation. It's not okay to, like she said, I'm going to get you fired from boxing. For my livelihood,
publicly, she said
that. I'm a family man, a father, a grandfather. You're now planting a seed across the world that, hey, this guy's a bad apple, don't work with him. And we know that they're in this boxing community and MMA, combat sports, sure, there's bad apples. I worked really hard at never being that guy and always having respect for the fighters and whatnot. And when you have somebody who has the platform that she has,
hey, I had to remove that info off the screen. I was like, damn, man, it's been that long, almost half of the interview anyway. I'm back.
Okay. So now I have to defend my name because I'm getting questions from Ireland, Russia, England, all over America. Thankfully in America, especially in America, and in Latin America, people know me. Like they legitimately, promoters, managers, fighters I haven't worked with know my character. So thankfully, I have their support. So I had to defend myself, and I'm not going to do it like with baseless things. I'm just going to let my legal team, my legal counsel handle it and defend this young man. Because he also didn't wear loaded gloves. So you know, or padded out gloves or whatnot.
And I'm gonna go on record too. Is as long as I've been covering boxing, it's never been, you know, like every gym have their protocol coach on whether to record or not. Usually, it's like, okay, you walk into a gym, automatically you know, can you record? Now, this is not that, because recording isn't illegal when it comes
but the other part to that,
you know what I'm saying?
The other part to that is people are going around going, "Oh, that's weak that he posted it." 5
They
years.
don't know who posted it though. They don't know if you posted it.
No, apparently that I'm not even 100% sure of that.
I'm talking about the general public.
Yeah, but
public
yeah,
now.
I'm guessing the young man posted it, but you know, with the editor or whatever, right? But the whole point of it is people are like, "Oh, it's weak and whatnot." Wait a minute, he's not debating. That went out for 5 years. Nobody spoke about that except for her.
5 years. 5 years. And she spoke on it first. And then the fighter who actually that she's trashing, he's like, I'm gonna put the video out. And then it starts to spiral out of control up to then. But let's just touch on the topics of her. You know, we talk about all this character, and we have these cats that's sitting up here wanting to goddamn serenade, you know what I'm saying, this woman just based off 2 gold medals and what she's accomplished. Cool. But what about character? Because all too often as media, we always get accused for doing shit that's way simpler than what she did. And people want to ban you from coming to freaking sporting events. They want to ban you from getting interviews. They want to, you know, do word of mouth and talk. But what about shit like this though? Some of you cats don't even want to talk about it because you're busy about kissing ass. You want to stay in the good graces of somebody who it only takes one time to piss her off. And I understand how, you know, some of y'all can come over here on the fake accounts, you know what I'm saying, and hide behind that shield instead of just speaking up and letting your thoughts be heard, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. And see, with me, I know it's some fake people that's in the freaking chat under these fake accounts. I get it. And, you know, I pretty much, you know, can drop the link, but I'm gonna continue. Just give me 5 minutes.
Nobody wore that as a badge of honor.
Correct.
You know, so it's like, you know, and it's an incident. Again, fighters get knocked down, male, female fighters all the time. You can go through all my social media. You never see me posting anything. I don't even like to post sparring.
And shout out to Coach Santos, man. I don't really want to go into the whole deal, but I want to take you to another video. Shout out to Coach Santos. Appreciate the interview. I wanted to put that out there because, you know, this whole thing has been surfacing back up now. And I don't want people to look at him in any old kind of way. Like, you know, he's a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't. He's good. He's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He did nothing wrong in that. You know? Let's take a listen to this audio right here. Okay? Let's take a look, and then I'm about to hit the chat. And this is from Brass Knuckle Boxing.
In women boxing at 1.5. Okay. She said she jumped in Cam DM to basically correct him.
This is where everything is boiling over from, because Cam, let me take this down a little bit. Cam is to the right, and because that's Shields to the left. And he made a comment which I stuck to my truth. I say he misspoke. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how I feel about Shields. Camron misspoke. Shields was correct on misspeaking. But there's a lot of people that's coming to the aid of Serrano and Taylor over Shields for their own personal reasons. That's all I'm saying. Because, you know, she is correct. Her and Savannah Marshall did headline. But people want to go off Netflix. They want to go off the numbers on Netflix. And we want to talk about undercards now. You have these fans that really don't have too much experience on fight week. They just coming out of the freaking warehouse. You know what I'm saying? These molds is being put in the boxing. That's why boxing media has changed for the worse, because you have individuals just used to, talking to people and having conversations. So they don't give a damn about how messy it get, the lack of decorum, none of that shit. They just come here. They really don't have a history with these fighters. They claim to know them for all these years. You ain't never heard of these niggas. But now all of a sudden, it's so much that's going on where, people are willing to believe anything and everything. And when I did that interview, people was like, "Oh man, you just going off here saying all that, and you defaming her name." And then she comes out and say that and puts her side of the story about the knife. I never got any apologies about that. Never. And she said she went out there and she was gonna cut his old ass up. That's what she said, right? Right? Isn't this after one of her people punched the coach in the back of the head, knocked him out? So there's a running habit. This is a running habit, yo. This is something that feels comfortable. And when you have people that's condoning this shit.
Okay, people trying to make it seem like she's hating on Serrano and all that. She said she jumped in Cam DM to correct him because he had it wrong, basically. He got it wrong. Cam is a casual boxing fan, probably. She said they didn't do the most views. I got the most views, watch views in women boxing when I fought Savannah Marshall. We did over 2 million. Okay. So Carissa's saying that the first time Serrano and Taylor fought, it only did 1.5. So she said Cam didn't text her back right away when she was just trying to correct him, get some understanding. She said he didn't text me back right away. He texted me after the fight. So what she mean is, what I get from it is that she's talking about the rematch. She's talking about Cam text her back after the Serrano versus Taylor rematch when they did the co-main event on Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, fight card, whatever, on Netflix, y'all. So where Carissa is saying she makes sense, he's not lying. When it come down to women boxing headlining the card, I got that. I got the most views, She's saying that, basically she's saying that Serrano and Taylor, that wasn't a card that they headlined. Now, I don't know if they headlined the first fight. They probably did, but it only did what they had to, because she said, they only did 1.5. And she's talking about women headlining the card. She said, I did over 2 million, And Camron texts her back, y'all, after the rematch, after the Serrano-Taylor rematch on the Tyson-Jake fight card. He texts her back after that fight and says, well, you got some catching up to do, something like that. You got to get your numbers up, because he know that fight did over 2 million, the 2 million that Carissa Shields is talking about, that she got the most watch views because.
And I'm going to leave it at that. You have several people that's speaking on this incident as far as views. They're getting the overall viewership from Netflix confused with the viewership as if, you was a headliner on a promotion. And, I would definitely have to say that Camron was off the mark with that. I'm not going to go in grave detail trying to sit up here and debate, but, conveying approval is important. And Carissa wants that approval, right? And she should get it on Camron freaking misspoke speaking. He did. He misspoke on the overall numbers, and they talking about she got some catching up to do. I mean, if you want to talk about the overall fight card, you know what I'm saying, doing some incredible numbers like that, cool. But that's not going to happen because there's no woman, even her, that can bring in the type of numbers that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson did. Nobody. It don't matter if it's Amanda Serrano, Cecilia Brockers, Katie Taylor, Alicia Baumgart. It don't matter. They're not going to bring in the numbers like we seen on Netflix with Tyson and Paul. Anyway, but on the flip side of that, when it comes to Shields, once again, making this about, I can't stand these niggas and all this other stuff. And you're talking about a person who has been on record talking about she'll knock men out. When I hear dudes talk about this particular situation with Camron, right? And they won't even be as neutral as I would. They would just say Camron was hating on Carissa. And let's just say Camron was uninformed. Let's just give him the option of being uninformed. When somebody tells the public that he was in her DMs and he wasn't, that's false information. That's false information. You're trying to say a man was in your DMs for what? What exactly he was in your DMs? So we need the truth to stand on all of it. First and foremost, that should be the shield, the truth, having some integrity. Not just making up shit as it go along. And that's what we've seen in certain areas, certain incidents that deal with her. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Camron misspoke. But don't sit up here and try to say, well, he hating on black women. It's like a black man cannot comment or criticize a black woman like her without it being considered to be hate. What if it's just us speaking up? We're just speaking up on a situation. We're voicing our opinion. Whether you deem it as facts or not, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? You have options to acquire information, store it, and whatever you retain, you can talk about it at a later date. The encoding, the decoding is totally up to you. But at the end of the day, truth versus lies, they're going to be people that choose to dedicate themselves to going a little bit farther and doing their investigating effort to find out what is truth and what is lies. And all I can say is when it comes down to the Camron situation, he misspoke on that. When you're talking about the overall fight card, UCs don't get credit for the overall numbers. The main event does. But then you flip it over. And once again, Shields is talking about, black men and all that. You can't assume that black men is going to have your vote. You just can't assume that everything we have to deal with in life, when it comes down for what you got going on out here to the general public, the black man is just going to give you the vote. Now, there's some that just overlook everything that I talked about today, and they don't give a damn about none of that. And they might continue to say, oh, WCS, you just bringing up old shit. No, it's not old shit now. When I brought up, when it was new shit, brand new off the goddamn showroom, y'all was up here talking about it was fabricated. It was made up. And then Shields come out with her own video and saying she went out to the car to get the knife. All of a sudden, the niggas don't want to apologize. They don't feel the need to. They don't feel the need to make it right. You know what I'm saying? They have no need to make it right. They don't care. You have somebody that continue to be reckless. Not just reckless verbally, but physically. And dudes who just overlook that shit and say, hey, man, you look at her resume. This has very little to do with boxing at the end of the day on why a lot of boxing fans don't show her the respect that she wants. She said they're trying to rewrite. They're trying to rewrite. Look, you're acting like this is the first time that media has put out misleading information. You act like this is the first time that we have seen ex parte narratives being pushed out in the waterways of the media, and they float them bitches downstream. They don't care where it goes. They just wanted to go there, and that person that received it on there and said, let me read this shit right here. Oh, for real? And then they go pass it to somebody else and pass it, and it keeps on going on and on. Media's been doing that. Media's been put out these freaking blimps of false information. And it goes right down here in the septic tank of media, the YTC. It happens all the time. It happens all the time, bro. And to me, it's people that's up here talking about this incident, and it's not even about making a fight. It's not even about making a fight. It's just all about something that's done came up about the numbers, and now all of a sudden, another black man is considered to be hating on a black woman, which I don't see that. But it's a lot of these black media on here that have their preference on who they favor and unfavor. I mean, that's just life, bro. And Shields, you know, in certain people's language, they don't speak too kindly of her. Are they wrong for saying I don't support her or I don't rock with her? No, just because you black, you don't have to continue to support somebody who has incidents out there and you're like, oh, I still support her regardless of what she did. I still support her and regardless of what she did over there. But yet, you'll tell your kids, oh, don't be hanging around that. You know what they did already. They did it twice. They're showing you who they are. Once they show you the hand, don't ask them to give you another card. They showed you the hand already. They're not good people. They're refrain. They'll sit up here and counsel and lecture their own kids about not hanging around friends that's doing and basically going through shit like this. Hold on for a second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. Let me get to this chat. Smoke session, sports and entertainment in the buildings. What's good with it? Salute. Cam got 5 women that would jump her from Harlem. Hey, man, I don't advocate violence. I just know that she's been a part of it. That's all. That's public record, right? That's public record. So I don't want to hear no soft shit where people up here acting like we don't have it on already and people be going at each other, crashing out on YTC. But yet you have a boxer that can pretty much, you know, have receipts pulled on her for always challenging guys. She said Camron said she got 3 knockouts, and he said you want to be 4th. She actually believes she can go out here and knock dudes out. Do you know the streets play by different rules? Like she proved that. She was going out there and trying to retrieve a weapon, her own words. She was going out there trying to retrieve a weapon out of her car, and she said she was gonna cut his old ass. She had gone out there to retrieve a weapon out of the car to cut him, y'all. Not giving a damn about any consequences or repercussions. But this is the person that's supposed to get all the credit when it comes. We haven't heard of Amanda Serrano doing that or Katie Taylor. So just because you have other fighters that's favorable to these content creators, it seems like you're extremely angry about that. And then if it's black content creators, you say we selling out. No, I will be stupid as long as I've been living. I'll be stupid to condone the type of activities or behavior that I myself would tell somebody that's younger than me that might be going down the wrong path, so to speak. Sit up here and tell them some shit like that. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it. You know, it ain't too jail, man. You know what I'm saying? Black men don't go to jail often. You know what I'm saying? Man, you go to court and everything on some assault shit, man. You ain't gonna get too much of it. You know what I'm saying? For real, they love black people, man. It's the white people you got to worry about. They go to jail all the time. Black people, hell no. Especially black men, no. Now you don't have nothing to do with it. Who am I to sit up here and condone some shit that I would tell somebody else like, hey, you might want to think about what you got going on. You might want to be a little bit more, smarter, so to speak, in your decision making and who we told our kids that who you select to hang around, because guilty by association plays a huge factor all the time in life. You know what I'm saying? Guilty by association. People accuse you of something. You have groups of people that'll believe a lie. They will believe a lie on you in a heartbeat, and they will run with it, and they'll tell that lie, without anybody ever speaking to you. They won't even come to you. You can tell them a lie. And you got so many gullible people that believe a lie, and they feel like they're important by holding that lie on that person. Oh, that's why I don't fuck with him. So-and-so did this. Just like they used to say about Rick Glaser. You know what I'm saying? He's racist and all that shit and all this. Hey, there was no evidence of it. All the shit that goes on down here, bro, don't get mad because someone like myself is not condoning it, but I can be neutral about a situation and say Camron misspoke on the numbers. I could say that. She had a right to defend herself on the numbers. Why people are not really coming to her aid is because they just straight up don't like you like that. What they say, they just don't F with you like that. I'm serious. They don't F with you like that. I mean, don't feel no type of way. It's hard trying to placate people and be in their good graces all the time. It's difficult. It's an unachievable task, man. You can do for people and all that. They hear one lie and they want to distance themselves. They just want to fade out. Oh man, so-and-so told me something about them. Instead of asking the person, they believe anything. That's how they play. Especially my people. They play my people like a fiddle. It can be a group and somebody can tell a lie on somebody just because that one person, don't like them. They can lie to one person and say, hey, go spread this as much as possible. And they'll never talk to the motherfucking person that's the lies being told on. So, don't get it twisted when it comes down to it with the Clarissa Shields situation. You know what I'm saying? She is a well-decorated boxer, but we do have this thing called character. In order for you to get paid the amount of money, this is way past accolades at this point. I don't blame these content creators that's out here bigging up Amanda Serrano because I believe she has good spirit about her. I was just talking about it. They was up there trying to paint Serrano as just this tyrant, this entitled. I say, what? Have y'all ever met her in person? If you really want to tell you somebody that's entitled outside of Shields, I would say Michaela Mayer. I mean, that is a person that really don't give a damn about speaking to people, just because she done took some L's. Come on, man. She's not built for this boxing media shit. She really don't care. She's all about this now, but that ain't got nothing to do with her. All I'm saying is you're in the game of boxing. Whether you support male or females heavy, when you have situations come up like this, that's information that's out there. If the information that paints somebody in a negative light like Shields and it's public record, but yet you want to just overlook this public record like you don't give a fuck. But you're the same ones that'll tell friends and you'll tell your own kids, be very cautious about hanging with somebody who's did this, who has a who has a record or they have somewhat of a tendency to repeat the same bad habits. You know what I'm saying? They've been known to do this. Be careful about that. Be very cautious about associating. They tell that shit all the time until somebody get hurt or somebody, end up finding out for themselves once it's too late. And then those same people sit up there and say, "Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't quite know that right there." Yeah, you did. It's people that told you, but you wanted to be a part of the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have enough cojones or courage and intestinal fortitude to step up and stand up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You just wanted to ride along and get along. Shout out to Toby in the building, Mr. International on deck. What's good? What's good? Anna Brown on deck. I see you. She is the reason she's not like. Look. I know this is Smoke. I know he's a black man, but I don't disagree with what he's saying. I don't. I can't say he's hating. He may not like her. It's like I get this feeling on the YTC that we don't have a choice when it comes to, because we have very limited black fighters, right? That we should just support everything they do in and out the ropes. No, man. Treat them like you do the males. What's wrong with that? Stand up for your fucking self. Treat them like you do the males, man. Y'all shit on the males all the time. But just because we have limited black female fighters is out here, we supposed to goddamn coddle their ass and they sitting up here shitting on men. If anyone shits on men, it's her. But I'm not trying to make it a me and her situation. I don't care. But I'm just saying what she said about Cam being a hater, hating ass, this, that, and the other. I mean, come on, man. You act like a black man can't comment on a black woman. It's a conspiracy. They trying to rewrite history. They trying to phase Shields out and all this other shit. Man, hey, you can't stop it. Just a guy in the building. 402 stand up, one love, hit the like button. I appreciate you. One love to you, man. If Carissa can knock out all these men, why doesn't she knock out more girls in the ring, even though they use smaller gloves? Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. God damn, somebody turn off the motherfucking engine and take the keys, man. You can't allow somebody to drive around talking like that. Ugh. I get it, Toby. Bro, I get it. I understand. But see, Toby, if you was to, ask her that question, she probably respond to you like she did Ryan Garcia. Ryan. This is the guy who tested positive for Ostarine. But shit. Anyway, I ain't trying to get into that. I just know he got the utmost respect. I didn't hear this nigga that, black man this, black man that. All I heard was love and it was just a bubbly sense of freaking, say admiration. You know what I'm saying? How she admired Ryan Garcia, just disrespecting her, talking about, I'm gonna have a baby. We're gonna have a baby, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, why, Ryan? Why did you take Ostarine? You know I ain't never took no drugs. You know I ain't never popped no. Man, come on, man. You know me. Well, I was just asking me because, man, get out of here, bro. Come on, run the gauntlet on them like they do males. Don't be nice to them. Don't be super nice to Ryan Garcia, but shit on the black men. I'm tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that shit, man. That's you. Capitulating to something that you damn well know is wrong, and you continue to do it over and over again, and you don't want to check the person because you say, "Oh man, she'll go tell a lie on me." You goddamn right. So what happens? You separate yourself and you stay far away from that person. But that's a good point, Toby. Monday morning should be crying in the car. Cam has a huge platform. It's at 8 a.m. Yeah, man. Like, man, this shit is wild, man. Like, that's why I only do one. There's no need to be on here multiple times in mine because everybody's talking about the same shit. And it's always negative. It's not really about making the fights. It's just trying to draft up a story on a potential fight on why it's not happening. Like, for instance, let me take this down, man. Let me take this down. I'm tired of looking at that shit. It's like, you know, they want to talk about Cepeda ducking Shakur Stevenson, right? Because he has a hurt hand. That just goes to show you. Boxing is changing. You got fighters that's coming up with all these injuries and they're not fighting surf fighters. Man, hey, Liam Paro said it best, you know, to freaking Richardson Hitchens. He said, I wanted a big name. You know, Hitchens was trying to say he was ducking. He said, I wanted a big name. You're not him. You stink up the place. You know what I'm saying? And so I went after Subriel Matias and got the belt, and you're the mandatory now. He's pretty much telling him, if you weren't the mandatory, I wouldn't have picked to fight you. I get it. Mike in the building. What's good? Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more the OG in the building. What's good with it, Bruce? Shells on deck. What's good? JD on deck. Blue Hustle in the building. What's good with it, Blue? He told me 2 years ago she was not a person that you cared for. Yeah, man. You know, like I'm not on here calling her out her name and shit like that, but she is who she is, man. And she's gonna continue to try to get on here and get people to validate her by her forcing them into a situation of validation. No, it has to be voluntary in order for it to count. It has to be voluntary validation. You can't sit up here and tell boxing fans that you're number one when they like the way someone's personality is along with their fighting style. You know, you got people out here that believe 7 divisions is more than what you've accomplished. It depends on how they break it down. Detail for detail, line for line. But I'm not here to get into all that right now. It's just people out there that likes who Amanda Serrano is, and they're gonna defend her first before they go over here and defend somebody who they say, man, she don't give a fuck about us. Why should we just, you know, when human beings get that feeling like, man, so-and-so don't give a fuck about us, man, why are we gonna defend her? She's always talking about knocking us out. She always talking about knocking us out, bro. Gennady Golovkin? We're talking about the same Triple G who did that to Kell Brook? What? Look, Gennady Golovkin, he would probably start crying. The beating that he would have put on her. Come on, bro. You're talking about the one that fought Canelo 3 times. You're talking about Canelo couldn't even knock this man down. And you're talking about Keith Thurman. You're talking about the Keith Thurman that was in that way. Sean Porter and DSG and a plethora of other fighters. You knock him out back in the day. Okay, I got it. Shout out to the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience on deck. What's good? Team Tucker official. Shout out to IOTBA Boxing Talk, the GOAT on deck. What's good with it, bro? I interviewed that guy who her brother punched. Yeah, I think I remember that interview. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up blindsiding. You know, just all do the trash talking in the hometown. I always say this. They always say, you know who you have in your circle, right? And I always tell people, make sure your circle is as small as it possibly can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying small enough to put it up under a microscope and see how many people in your circle. I'm talking about when you want to talk maintenance, head counts. You don't have to take that long. And understanding those limited individuals that you have, you're pretty sure who they are and what their character consists of. Not individuals you're trying to figure out who's a freaking motherfucking snake, who's the roach. You know what I'm saying? Who's the rat? Individuals that you haven't even been around them long enough to basically get used to how they truly act. They always acting funny. They're always switching it up. You know what I'm saying? Have your circle as small as fucking possible. Because look, this is why I say this. Because she wanted to fight in Flint at that time. And that person who threw the punch should have been thinking about her future and what she represents and the fan base that she has. No, it was just a full shot, not thinking about the consequences, none of that shit, bro. And then to even have someone lie and say that wasn't so-and-so, man, come on, bro. Ooh, boy. I don't know how he did it, but it looked like old boy got the hell on. You know what I'm saying? Good job for him. Boy, I can't imagine. I need to interview you and see what it's like to be a free man, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because I know you was catching hell in that motherfucker. For real. Looks like it tear down black women. The great time. That's great time. We black men got to do better. Yeah, it's always somebody behind a freaking title talking about what black man should do better when a black woman is the one up here degrading a black man in general. But it's always us that should take the blunt force of the criticism. And we're always going through a recovery and repair period to better ourselves. But it's always that black woman that you'll get people to come up here. That's probably a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's probably a woman anyway. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, real talk. They sit up here, you're tearing down. No, it's not tearing down black women. We're talking about a woman. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you put an A in that next time. You know, make sure you break it down to plural status. From plural status to singular status, rather. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not talking about black women. We're not talking about black women. We're talking about a black woman, a boxer. No female had her numbers. That's why, man, you ain't making no sense. You sound like a female. You ain't making no sense. Shout out to Haynes Legacy in the building. Salute to you, Haynes. What's good with it, man? Hope all is well. It was Savannah Marshall who made them numbers. They weren't just there to see Carissa. Probably more people were there to watch Savannah win as it was in the UK. Facts. Look, one thing I'll say about and caveat to what Toby mentioned, because if somebody else put the information in here and they wasn't from the UK, then if they was black, so to speak, or I would be hating on a black woman. But the fight was in the UK. The fight was in the UK. And why do people want to single-handedly take responsibility for these numbers when it's two people fighting? There's two people fighting, yo. Now, in retrospect, when you want to talk about Floyd Mayweather was able to consistently be that guy, you know what I'm saying? That showman, that money maker, Floyd Money Mayweather. He was able to consistently, hit the top of the freaking viewership with different fighters. But he was somewhat of an anomaly. You don't have people reciprocating that type of freaking activity. But Toby does have a solid point with the fight. How can you say it being out of Flint, right? I'm talking to Shields that's what you did. But if you say you did it, you have to always put you and Marshall did it. You have to put it out there, bro, because there is a lot of people that showed up to that fight wanting to see you all clash. You know what I'm saying? It was a reason behind that. You know what I'm saying? It was a reason why they wanted to see y'all fight for the first time. It's a backstory to that shit. The real ones know what the backstory is when it comes to boxing. You know what I'm saying? They want if you have one person, at least this is something that happened on the female side that was great. If you have a fighter that beat you outside of the professional ranks, people want to see you all fight. That's all I'm saying. People want to see y'all fight, bro. You know what I'm saying? People want to see. Shout out to Quee TWT in the building. What's good with it, Quee? How you feeling? Salute. But you know, that's where I'm at with it, Toby. I mean, you make a solid point. The fight was in the UK and they absolutely came to freaking check it out. They wanted Savannah Marshall to see can she pull off the biggest fight of her career and hand Carissa her first loss. And they had a history. You know what I'm saying? Just like this MMA. You know, for my understanding, Savannah's now in mixed martial arts doing her thing. And we all know that Shields has you know, did what she did. She made a transition over to mixed martial arts. I'm not gonna comment on that and you know, and like inject what's not there. Like, yeah, she has been in the cage and she has been able to amass a win or whatever in the cage. It's okay. It's cool. But I don't know where that career is taking her because it seems like it's just not something that she's doing. I mean, we've been hearing about freaking Alicia Baumgartner, which I tell people she's just too small. But, you know, you hear the back and forth between Carissa Shields and Cyborg. Cyborg, really, when you look at it, Cyborg has had championship belts in multiple divisions. I'm just saying, when you talk about the GWOAT in combat sports, what? Just her fight. Look at her kickboxing fight against Urena. Look at her kickboxing fight. Cyborg, it has belts in multiple promotions. Multiple promotions, man. And I think that's who she was talking about fighting at 147. But I could have sworn Alicia Baumgartner said something about fighting me at 147. Carissa said, no, come up to 154. I don't know. I don't know what, you know, they got going on. I heard Cyborg. It's kind of off topic, but, you know. Enjoying my rest day. You doing all right? Yeah, for sure. For sure. We good. We good. How about y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'll sit back and wait to see what's going to happen. It seems whatever we think should happen really doesn't happen. I don't want to get excited and set up for failure. Are you talking about what? Shakur Stevenson and Cepeda? What fight are you talking about? What fight are you talking about per se? Like, there's been a lot of back and forth going on. I guess, you know, a lot of people was up here boosting up that Shakur was going to automatically get Cepeda. And, you know, Cepeda said he has a hand injury. They really playing Shakur, bro. Seriously, they playing him. And look, we can't say with a clear mind that Cepeda is lying because Shakur, he just had a hand injury and he had to have an operation. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Cepeda, he coming out saying he hurt his hand. Now the fight between him and Shakur is off. But that doesn't mean that he was locked in. There was no contract signed. So I'm almost almost on point to say that Cepeda might come back and fight somebody we know very well. You know, you got fighters up here trying to make that bag. You know, they see just like the women that just made the bag over there, MVP. They see them making the biggest paycheck. If we can't debate the numbers because we just don't go with the undercard, what absolutely cannot be debated is the amount of money that Katie Taylor and Samantha Serrano made, and has Shields even made that type of paycheck. That's what she should be concerned about. Just showing up to a fight is not going to be enough. That's what you should be getting upset about. Not who's number one. Who's number one is not going to get your residual income once your career is over with. You should be trying to get that bag, the $1 million bag. I heard that freaking Amanda Serrano touched the M. I heard she touched the M. You know what I'm saying? Man, damn. Oh, okay. So Clarissa, I don't know who she's set to fight next. Who that is? If it's Chris Cyborg, from what I've heard through the grapevine or whatever, that fight may be a potential, but where's it gonna be at? You know what I'm saying? Where's it gonna be at? For real talk, where's it gonna be at? I think that fight, in my opinion, I think Carissa Shields versus Chris Cyborg would do better in a cage rather than a boxing ring. That's just my opinion. Now that Carissa has crossed over to MMA, it seemed like it'll do better. I mean, let's not once again jump on WCS, because James Toney came over there and fought Randy Couture, a multi-time champion over there at the UFC. James Toney went in the cage and fought Randy Couture. So don't act like you're trying to say, oh man, you just want to, the black woman to come. No, she has a professional record now in MMA. If you look at her topology, she is a mixed martial artist. She has multiple fights as a mixed martial artist. I'm just saying Chris Cyborg is a bigger name in mixed martial arts than Carissa Shields. And you would go around and say, well, check this out. Well, Shields is a bigger name than Cyborg over in boxing. Yes. But who is willing to put this fight on where it makes the money that people want? I mean, that the fighters will be happy with. I don't think anyone's going to pay for a Chris Cyborg Shields fight and give them what Serrano and Taylor made. I don't see it happening. I'm just being honest. I just don't see it happening, bro. I don't think Shakur was going to get that fight either. Yeah, everybody was up here talking about, man, Cepeda. All we had to do, Cepeda. Go in there. After he fights Tevin Farmer, it's going to be him and Shakur. No freaking paperwork. No paperwork to vouch for that. No one was saying that the fight was signed. And now Cepeda said, I have a hand injury. This shit is wild, yo. This boxing shit is wild. I swear to God, man. That's why the asylum stay full when you're dealing with the YTC. The asylum stay full, yo. They keep on admitting motherfuckers that hang out in this YTC shit too long, because it's so much misinformation that they process out here, man. It's just incredible. They all need to be fighting somebody, anybody. Just get in the ring, just sitting and waiting ain't working. Well, you know how that goes, right? In our simulated minds, we're about to transition and usher in 2025. All right. With 2025, we do. I mean, I don't even know the fight schedule like this. I put this out here, right, Quee? I put it out here that in 21 to 22, there was a big fight that we was waiting on. You know what I'm saying? That was a big fight we was waiting on. 21 to 22, we knew that Errol Spence was going to fight Yordenis Ugas for the WBA title. We knew he was going to go up there and fight that. We was expecting that. And then potentially Spence and Crawford was going to basically go in negotiations for a possible fight in 22. That didn't happen. So we did get Crawford Avenida. And now 22 to 23, what was our expectations? Crawford Spence. Will it happen in 23? And it did. It happened. 23 to 24. We was bamboozled. We thought when it came down to the rematch that it was a great possibility that the rematch will happen with Spence. And then we got the freaking IG where Spence was rolling out of freaking the Whole Food store, and somebody was up there, you know, acting like it was a freaking ER, and we didn't get. What's going on with it, Shaw? Salute to you, man.
Ain't not, man. Chilling.
What's up with it?
You know, I'm just listening to you deliver that hot grease, man. You know?
Yeah, man. It was just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you thought about Cam? Like, that's your neck of the woods, ain't it? What you think about that, Cam?
I think Cam and Mace, they got a research team. You know, they do what they do. They're gonna be messy.
Yeah.
You know, because they know controversy and all that is gonna get the you know, the trolls, the you know, the gossip types, all that, you know, the motherfuckers standing around with nothing going on talking.
Mm-hmm. And you know, speaking of controversy with these platforms is over there, is that kind of the same thing went down with Spence and Crawford. You know how $1 million worth of game, they was pretty much chilling out talking, you know, just talking casually with Spence. But Crawford,
yeah,
he ended up, you know, calling out Danny Garcia, calling up freaking Boots Ennis. They really put the messy shit out there. This is no different. This is no different with Cam and Mace. That's all.
Of course, you know, but you know how that goes.
Appreciate you pulling up.
You know how that goes with certain content creators. You know, like the industry guys. You know, the certain influencers, the industry guys, however you want to slice and dice it, they allowed to get away with that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
At the light,
They get the right of passage or the pass of passage to do those type of things. You know, to be messy or one-sided or show favoritism and stuff.
Did you see where you know, Camron,
in a quarter mile, turn right onto F Road.
3 freaking knockouts, and she said, "You want to be the 4th?" Well, I mean,
yeah.
You know, like
I see it. Like, man, at the end of the day, man, she, you know, she always crosses that line. Like, you always want to, you know, you're a woman, be a woman, man. You always thinking you could fight a man, and then when a man go upside your goddamn head, it's a problem, right? You know,
yeah.
It's a problem, right? You got to stay in your lane, man. You know, you got to stay in your lane. But, you know, Clarissa always thinks she could beat up a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think that was a little bit overboard. Say you want to be the 4th. You know, good and damn well, if Cam knocked her ass out, you know what I'm saying? He'll get canceled and everything else, man.
Man.
Oh, man, she was just talking, dog. She was just talking.
Yeah, he'd be classified a woman beater. He's a savage. How could you put your hands on that woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how the game is.
Do you think that Cepeda really has a hand injury?
Nah, I think Shakur Stevenson, man. At the end of the day, I think, you know, Zepeda's on his Frank Martin, right? Zepeda, you know, fought Tevin Farmer, and it didn't go as expected, right? So now it's like, man, if I do fight Shakur Stevenson, I'm liable to get really more exposed and lose that. So why not cash out on the biggest payday I could get? And that's probably Tank Davis.
1,000 feet, turn right onto the Sacticos Parkway South ramp.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I see that, man. And Shakur, you know, Shakur just got to eat it now. I know he's trying to talk all that, you know, the Twitter stuff about Mexican and all this. It's like, bro, it's not gonna happen. You know, it's unfortunate. You know.
Yeah, it's just that was a fight everybody was talking about, but it just seems like boxing, man. It's so slinky right now, man. You know what a slinky is? It's just slinky, man. It just goes in every direction. It's just, man, like, what do we have to look forward to from 24 to 25? I don't know. I haven't seen no PBC schedule. People still out here talking like it's there. I don't know.
You know, I'm just sitting back doing reactions on all the goofiness. You know, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit back, do reactions on all the goofiness, give my boxing character opinion. Whoever don't like it, don't like it. I'm gonna stay promoting my nephews. Speaking on that, shout out to Marley, you know, gearing up for number 5 at the Nationals. You know, he will be a five-time national champion at 15 years old, right? Something that Richard Williams, aka King Richard Sauce, told you guys about years ago. Now it's, you know, here, the stats. And shout out to Jihad, you know, all serious inquiries for sponsorships and endorsements. I know I heard the fella talking about investors. Well, Jihad has a couple of investors. You better lock in now before the prices go up.
In 2 miles, use the left lane to take the Southern State Parkway.
Hey, do you hear me? Oh,
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah. I hear you.
Say, that guy who's talking about investors, was he talking about investing in boxers, or he just talking about he know investors, period?
He was talking about investors to invest in the PBC. But I don't, you know,
okay.
to me, that's crazy. When you have superstar fighters, the investors should be lining up, man.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true words. I mean, I thought that was the whole deal Rick Glaser used to talk about all the time, how the money was dispensed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And used up.
Man, it's really looking that way now, man. Old Rick, man. You know, a lot of guys don't like old Slick Rick. But so far, it looked like Slick Rick and old Fred Hawthorne was spot on, man.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Especially Fred. Fred was spot on about a lot of shit. People just don't want to goddamn admit to it, but he was spot on some shit, though.
Absolutely. But let me ask you this, man. You know, that's my boys and my peoples, man. Did you catch the OTX finals, man, with Brandon Adams and Ronnie Shields fighter?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
But what was your take on that, man? Did you think Brandon Adams did enough to win?
I just know from his previous fight to qualify for the finals, he you know, he did well. You know what I'm saying? He did enough to get that victory. But his opponent, I'll say, man, it's gonna be a tough matchup. Well, do I think he did enough to win? I think it was a close fight, man. Seriously, I thought Brandon was gonna pull that off, but I thought the right one won. I thought the guy won. Who won? You know what I'm saying? I thought.
Yeah. You know, I think me personally, right, I think that's the Brandon Adams, you know, kind of curse, man. You know, he's like always the what they call that, the you know, like he's right there on the cusp, and then it's, you know, it's just, you know, that would have put him over again, and you know, he just didn't get the split decision, man. But overall, man, you know, he don't got nothing to hang his head on.
Left 2 lanes to turn slightly left to stay on Southern State Parkway.
Yeah, also, you know who I hit up too? I hit Bozy up, man. I hit Bozy up because now Bozy, shout out to him. He's a, you know, O'Shea Jones, Sugar, right? She won the title. So now he's a legit world champion. You know, two-time, you know, world champion coach now.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that. You know, O'Shea. Salute to O'Shea. You know what I'm saying? She was down here for that Crawford sparring. You know, she wasn't sparring that day though. She was just in the house. Yeah, I know her. No, I seen her around. Put it that way. I seen her around. That's good shit. Congratulations to her though. What belt did she pick up? She picked up what? The WBF?
She picked up the IBF. The IBF and the IBO, but the IBF is the legit one. You know, the IBO is still, you know, in the works, but the IBF is considered real big belt.
My thing is that was a championship fight, in an arena that small. It's just crazy. You know, that's women's boxing though. Like that was a championship fight in an arena as small as the OTX, man. That's wild. It's history what it is. She earned the belt. You know, she's a legitimate bona fide world champion. But in an arena that small, what weight class she fight at? Middleweight?
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
That's good shit. That's good shit.
Hi.
World Combat Sports.
What's going on, Coach Reen? How you doing?
Good.
I know it's Coach Reen on deck because the other one, she
Coach
retired. Nasaya retired, huh?
Yeah, see on the side, a freelance photographer. She does her own thing, man. You know?
Yeah, that's what they do when they get preteen. You know, they start to grow up, man. They start growing up. Jahaz
No. He up here. He getting Marley ready. He been working with Marley.
Okay.
You know, working with his brother, getting Marley ready. Yeah, Marley got some size on him, man.
Yeah, Marley had a growth
Marley. Yeah, Marley got some size on him. Marley will be campaigning at 125, man. We about to take it, man. You know, 125.
In a quarter mile, keep left to continue on New York 231 South,
That's
Babylon Northport
they're considered
Expressway.
featherweight in AMS too, right? Or what?
Yeah, basically. Like, you know, he moved up from 119 to 125. Right, that's why. Remember, everybody was laughing at me when I was saying that shit about Marley, and I was like, "Yo, I'll put him in there right now with some of these guys. They better jump on him now, because by the time he's 16, 17, it's gonna be Jihad Tucker all over again. You're gonna hear guys like Mickey Ward and all these seasoned pros, the Richard Comeys, coming out talking about, yo, man, that kid could fight, man."
Yeah. Is he planning on turning pro at 17? Y'all gonna wait to 18?
Continue on New York.
Right now we ain't gonna rush the process. We ain't gonna rush the process. He's just chilling, man. You know.
What's up. Shout out MKB. I see you in the building. What's good with it?
I just wanted to come on and, you know, kick it with my guy Hot Grease, man, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, they think I don't be fucking with you, or, you know, the YTC. No, I fuck with the players. WCS is the player with stats, and when I like to say motion, I just don't fuck with you old gibberish. You know, you bums, you know, with the bum mentality, man. I like to rub elbows with the players, man. You know,
for sure, no doubt. You know how this boxing game, it's unchanged, man. This media shit done changed right before our eyes, man. That shit.
Yes, it has.
It's just funny now, man. It's all funny, man. You got dudes on here just, I don't know where they came from, man. For real.
This shit that turned into Jerry Springer. It's like if you could have drama, right?
Yeah.
Not even quality content, like drama with, you know, old man going back and forth and fighting you to their manhood and pull up and, you know, I'll whoop your ass and you know what it is. Yeah, that's what this has turned into now, man. It's not even about reporting information or sharing information. It's just Jerry Springer.
Man, you ain't lying, man. This shit is just freaking gossip and more gossip, dog.
Shit.
And it make you think, like, what you know, fights that we was expecting. I mean, yeah, we got the two Davids, but what are the big fights that's on the horizon, man? Nobody knows. It's about to be December. What's the fights on the horizon for 2025?
Yeah, you ain't lying, man. Hopefully the PBC get a budget, man. They get with Netflix, or they get with somebody that's willing to invest in that.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to ask you about Richards and Hitchens. Are you believing his? You know, he's gonna go in there and do what he do with Liam Parra? Are you sold? Because I know he around your way too.
Listen, man.
For a minute,
I think Africa, Richard Hitchison. Yeah, this is his opportunity, right?
Yeah.
You know,
27A West exit.
You got to seize the moment, man. Seize the moment. This is his opportunity.
In 1,000 feet.
This is the life changing, you know, thing for him. He got to seize the moment, man.
New York 27A. Main Street, then turn left onto Willow Street.
Do you believe, based off what you've seen in the past, though, that this would be, Richardson Hitchens' most competitive? Because he did against John Bowser, right? We seen that.
Yeah.
Right after that, it wasn't comparable. It wasn't the same energy as John Bowser.
At the light, turn left onto Willow Street.
With Africa, that's why I'm gonna keep calling Africa. With Africa, you never know, man. Like you just said, you're only as good as your last performance, right? That's how I base it off. If we base off his last performance, man, a lot of people question if he even got that victory.
Yeah, he was trying to convince Liam Parr that he won. Liam Parr won buying it. He said, "Man, you don't go over there to the Puerto Rican people. Don't stink up the place." And it was going back and forth. I thought it was a damn good face-off.
It was a great face-off. The trash talk was good, man.
Yeah, the trash talk was on point. I ain't gonna lie. Parr was calm, cool, collective. With his jabs, man.
Yeah, he's seasoned, man. He took out arguably one of the boogeymen. Remember, Sabrel Matisse was the boogeyman, man. He was like, nobody wanted to fight him at 140. Remember, he was the rooster. Like, he was running through shit. Everybody was ducking him. And then what's name went in his backyard and did him up, man. Lit him up.
1,000 feet. Turn left on Fire Island Avenue.
That's why it's a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm not on the fence about it, but I'm just kind of weary of Hitchison not stinking the joint up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to keep it politically correct. I don't. They don't listen to us, but they listen to us. You know what I'm saying? WCS. So I got to be mindful of some of the stuff I say on social media, right? Because, like I said, they don't listen to us, but they listen to us, man.
Turn right onto Cedar Lane.
For sure.
So say something, to get back like, yo, man, and why your man was in, So it's like,
You ain't lying, man. But yeah, I got damn I wasn't even planning on staying on this long. I got to run, man. I was about to bounce up. Hey, man, shout out to you and the family, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, appreciate
it up over there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Camp, Jahar, and Molly, man.
Yeah, definitely.
That music, I say what up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And shout out to
say my name
Coach
on the live.
He just said your name, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The up and coming rising star with the Lens game, the interview.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing her thing. Great workout.
300 feet. Slide left.
Yeah, that's the youngest PR in the game. Coach Reen on the scene.
Shout out to Coach Reen on the scene.
Coach Reen on the scene. You know what it is. But
find me on.
What now?
Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Hey, that is.
Take the next left on the road. Then turn left onto Yacht Club Road.
2 years? It's been a little bit over 2 years.
2 years, yeah. 2 years.
Got going, man. It's history now. Shit. That's all.
Yeah, but WCS, man, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Appreciate you.
Same to you, man. Y'all take it easy. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, peace.
Take the next left onto Yacht Club Road.
Peace.
Then turn left onto Fire Island
Shout
Avenue.
out to y'all in the chat, the hottest chat in the MF game. Y'all hold it down. Continue to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm out. Peace.